Hello and welcome back to Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate for Dundorma Saturday. Today we're going to be doing some more multiplayer. Assuming people join, that is. And yeah, we're going to have a good time just playing Monster Hunter. And today being February 17th, passcode's going to be 0217. And there's our hub ID. Hey there, Drake Great. And while we wait for any potential joiners, I need to come here and grab all this honey. Hey there, Wolfkinson. I'm glad I had this honey set to go, because going from double-digit honey to over 200 is nice. Certainly helps us keep going. Alright, got plenty of honey now. And welcome to the team, Wolfkinson. The last time we tried Chaotic Gore, it didn't go so well. Let's see if we can get some revenge. Right, this isn't 3U. I have item sets. I need to make more max potions. Which means I need to make more mega nutrients. Hey, guard, I'm doing fine. Hope you are too. Apparently I also need to make more pit traps. Just handle that real quick. We need more nets soon. And now all that's missing is paintballs. And thus, off we go. So we know this guy starts way at the top of the mountain. Or not. He starts right here. I've discovered him. It was a great long search, but I have made this discovery. Okay, I wasn't expecting Virus Ball to go up the side of the silly, thing here. Rock. Want orange. There it is. Just in time to block a roar. Oh wait, doesn't this guy have high-grade roars? It's probably something else that... It was probably not an actual roar. That's probably what it was. Yeah, guard, this is a fairly difficult Monster Hunter game. Failed quests can happen. But hey. We're more prepared for the things that we failed against last time. And we're not doing any 140 guild quests. At least not for now. I should probably save them out for when he's got his feeler out. Ouch. Good job, Bug. Rip. No worries, Wilkinson. There we go. Got my orange. He's got his feelers out. I have got a health issue that needs addressing. Alright, feeler broke. Future reference, Wilkinson, there's no shame in taking the map. Yeah, Guard, I'd say EX deviants are harder than anything that this game has to offer. But as a baseline, this is definitely the hardest of the classic Monster Hunters. Hey John, no worries if you can't join. But thanks for at least dropping by. Yes, 140 monsters hit about as hard as EX Deviants. The reason I'd put EX Deviants higher is they just tend to have deeper move sets. Sure, the Hunters also have deeper move sets to match, but I just find that in terms of what they can do, the EX Deviants tend to be rougher than 140 Guild Quests. And hey, we got this boy limping. Though we do not capture chaotic gores unless we do not want contrary scales. See if you can't break that shag claw. I almost got screwed by a ledge there. Nice. Ah yes, since the ground is slightly tilted, we get to deal with scooting that way a little bit. Well, no contrary scale for me, but whatever. It's rare for a reason. Imagine if we slid like this on uneven ground anywhere else in any Monster Hunter game. Like, there are places with steeper slopes than this in this game where we don't slide like this. And if we slid like that anywhere in world, it would be a nightmare. All right, Wolfkinson, your pick. Apparently, I also need to make more energy drinks. Ah, good old USJ. And you'll note that this USJ quest is still in this game. Meanwhile, USJ quests got removed. At least removed from ability to download for Sunbreak. If you already got them, you can keep them, but you can't download them anymore in Sunbreak. Which... yeah, that's kind of lame now, isn't it? Whereas I bet if you bought a fresh new copy of 4U today, you could go online and download this USJ quest. The fact that both World and Rise have had some downloadable quests removed from the game. In World, it's not even downloadable, but the fact that these games have had quests removed from them is such a disappointment. I'm gonna put the dog to sleep, and then we can ignore it and focus on Steve for a bit. Well, dog didn't stay asleep for as long as I had hoped. Do I not have mosswine jerky in this item set? I am a fool. Yeah, Guard, people who host the quest can still get other people the USJ rewards, I'm pretty sure. Though World has had some quests removed from it permanently. Those being the Assassin's Creed and Monster Hunter movie tie-in quests. They are... since in World we don't download the event quests, they are always hosted on a server. And the distribution rights are gone, so Capcom is no longer allowed to distribute those quests. And thus, they're just gone. Nice flinch, dog. Oh, bad flinch, dog. 4U mount mechanics. They got me. Our team was doing everything we were supposed to, but the dog did not cooperate. Imagine if you could heal off bleeding as fast in this game as you can in Sunbreak. Well, this bird is now fully broken. And also dead. said flash. I said flash. Well, got him with the flash that time. Yeah, the way mounting gets treated in this game, or actually in every game that has had mounting, has been pretty different. Heck, there were even changes made between 4 and 4U. 4U, they made it harder for monsters to wall you while mounting, as in to get you off of them by coming into the barest of contact with a wall. They gave us a few frames of grace period in this game versus 4. Base 4, if you mounted a Kieran anywhere near a wall, you were basically guaranteed to come off it. This Seregios corpse has stuck around longer than I expected it to. Hey, Skymerold. And also, guard, while attacking something that's mounted is something of a detriment in World, at least in World, unlike in any game that came before it, well, actually, not any game, unlike in GU, in World you still do damage to a monster while it's being mounted. In GU, any damage that you would have done is zeroed out, and instead you just contribute to the mount meter. Whereas in World, you do real damage to things that are being mounted. And in 4U, you do real damage to things that are being mounted. I'm just looking at my guild quests out of curiosity. And there's nothing worth being curious about. Okay. I was wondering if maybe I had a guild quest with a monoblos of any kind. I don't know if those even exist. They probably do, but like, maybe they don't because multiplayer monoblos, lol. But dang it, I like monoblos, and I kind of wish that we had it in here? Maybe the closest we have is Apex Diablos, who borrows some moves with Monoblos. From Monoblos. We're gonna have a fun time. Ah, yes, Bracky Garuga guild quests. They are indeed exciting. Two of the worst monsters to fight in guild quests simply because of what they gain in speed from their speed frenzies. Though it was worse in base Monster Hunter 4. Because in base Monster Hunter 4, we had to deal with the whole, Rocksteady being a death sentence against Frenzied Bracky in high-level guild quests. Had to deliberately avoid getting Orange Essence when fighting Bracky in Monster Hunter 4, because... yeah, his, Lunging Punch, the new move that he got in Monster Hunter 4. It can be chained. He can do it twice in a row. If he hits you with the first one, the second one landed at exactly the moment that your hunter was standing up. And thus, if you had Rocksteady effect. And thus, if you had an Orange Essence with an Insect Glaive. So it was just a death sentence. Rathalos would actually start up here, wouldn't he? Hello, Junine. Okay, Rathalos does not start up here. Maybe he starts... you know what? Maybe he does start way down below. Whatever. We know where the Bracky is. That's enough. I feel like I just missed the Bracky circuit. I see Wolfkinson has found the Rathalos. And since it's easier for me to go down there than for Wolfkinson to get up here, I'm gonna go down there. We'll save the Bracky as a treat. Because I do love me some Bracky. I forgot how different the Frenzy makes monsters sound. Yes, this game does have a wonderful smooth 60 FPS, but again, that is exclusive to new 3DSs. If you are on a classic 3DS, you will be stuck with 30 FPS cap. And you'll actually experience frame drops if you use a CirclePad Pro with it, because the CirclePad Pro happens to use about 10% of the 3DS's resources just to be there. It's actually a surprising resource hog to have a CirclePad Pro. Oh, he's tired. How is he tired? Guess the frenzy takes a lot out of you, huh? Oh, this poor boy's getting headlocked. Well, that Rathalos did not last long. Though, to be fair, Rathalos heads are very squishy. Oh yeah, impact files do exhaust damage, don't they? You know, Bracky's Roar has had an interesting history to it. It started off as a high-grade roar. Then it became a low-grade roar. Then it went back to being a high-grade roar. Except the high-grade roar it started off as was a mid-grade roar, actually. Because it was one of the high-grade roars that Rocksteady could block. Where Rocksteady only gave low-grade plugs, technically. But there were some high-grade roars that it could block. I believe those roars belonged to Brute Wyverns. Like, every Brute Wyvern had a mid-grade roar if it had a roar higher than low-grade. And I think Alatreon also had a mid-grade roar. Yeah, in Monster Hunter 4, Bracky just straight up had a low-grade roar, if memory serves. But then, come Iceborne, his roar is back to high grade, if memory serves again. Though admittedly, probably the most interesting roar in the franchise to me belongs to or not Scarred, Deadeye Garuga. Deadeye Garuga. Because Deadeye Garuga has the distinction of having the franchise's only low-grade roar that causes damage. Deadeye Garuga's roar can be blocked with low-grade plugs, but if you stand close enough to it, it will damage you, and thus also send you flying. But the roar stun, if you're far enough away to avoid the damage, is completely negated with low-grade plugs. It's very silly. And I'm not convinced that mid-grade roars aren't just a programming error. Because, I mean, hey, it's a high-grade roar, but an effect that gives low-grade earplugs as part of a package deal also blocks it? Yeah, Outlander would be interesting if fewer monsters had the highest grade of roar. Sunbreak, or not Sunbreak, Rise actually experimented with that, because in the game as it launched, base Rise, it was impossible for any level of earplugs to block an Elder Dragon roar or an Apex roar in that game. We later on got Elder Dragons with lower tier roars. Did we? Well, bye, Bracky. I forget whether or not they gave Teo and Kushala the super roars in Rise. But either way, later on we were given in Master Rank a skill that could finally block the super roars. Yeah, low-grade earplugs do work against more than you would expect. But yeah, less than you would want. Yes, Wilkinson, this is a fun quest. I agree. Honestly, in my opinion, any quest that has a frenzied Bracky is going to be some degree of fun. Even if it's the nightmarish kind, like a 140 guild quest. And now it's your post. Oh, got another scroll unlocked, huh? Time to make more mega potions. Didn't realize how truly starved for honey I was before this stream started. I'm very glad I had the honey production already done. Also, when it comes to playing this game in 60 frames per second, it is really nice. Though, man, have I been spoiled on Monster Hunter World and Sunbreak. Iceborne and Sunbreak. Because I am able to play both of those games at 4K 120, which is real nice. Though admittedly it does make at least, well, it made base rise harder. I think they fixed it for Sunbreak. Yeah, they fixed it at least a little bit. Where in Rise, monster tracking was based on the frame rate. And thus, if you played at 120 frames per second, it made things like Risen Kushala. Okay, actually, I guess it wasn't Sunbreak. But either way, maybe it was just regular Kushala. Either way, playing at 120 frames per second made it a lot harder to dodge certain monsters' attacks. But they fixed that in a patch at some point. I think with Sunbreak. Yeah, it was base Kushala, not Risen. So yeah, it was... Sunbreak fixed it. That's the point I'm trying to make. And now, monster tracking is not based on frame rate in that game. But yeah, it's real nice playing those games at 120 FPS. Though, I have to drop down to... oh, I should have brought Sonics. I have to drop down to 60 FPS for streams. Because A, I can't stream in 120 FPS to begin with. And B, if I want to stream in 4K 60, then I have to play in 4K 60 because my GPU may be beefy, but it cannot handle two 120 frames per second renderings of the game simultaneously. Kind of weird to think that Diablos in this game was coming fresh off its first absence in the entire franchise. Because Monster Hunter 4 did not have this map, and thus it did not have any deserts, nor did it have any Diablos. Yeah, it's actually pretty common for RE Engine games to have enemies track the player based on frame rate. Like, if you watch a speedrun of any modern Resident Evil game, you'll actually see that there are certain points where they drop the frame rate down to 30 FPS so that they can more easily sneak past a monster or a zombie without getting grabbed. It's very silly. You know what? Why am I going for orange from... Well, I guess I'm going for orange from the Diablos because the Cephalos is gone. But if the Cephalos shows back up, that's free orange. Come here, Cephalos. Thank you. It looks like my bug killed it. Yeah, the Resident Evil 2 speedruns are especially interesting. Because in that game, the knife does... It hits on a per-frame basis. Every frame it spends inside an enemy, it does damage to that enemy. So if you play at 120 FPS, the knife becomes a boss-killing machine. So if you watch a speedrun of the Resident Evil 2 remake, you will frequently see that the players will play at 120 FPS, but then when there's a zombie in a narrow corridor, they will drop the FPS down to 30 to get by it, and then boost the FPS back up once they have. Though the fact that they were able to patch Sunbreak so that the monster tracking was no longer strictly based on FPS tells me that Capcom has at least figured it out, and, well, at least some future games might not have that issue. I have to say some because Resident Evil 4 Remake apparently also has that going on, at least to a degree, because I watched a speedrun of that at GDQ, and they dropped the FPS down to 30 for one segment in that speedrun, so... yeah. Probably still a thing. Wonder if it'll still be an issue on REX engine games. Okay, lady's not down here. Yeah, Guard, when it comes to whether or not it'll be an issue with Dragon's Dogma 2, that's why I was saying, you know, hopefully the REX engine doesn't have the same problem. Because I'm pretty sure Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to be the first REX engine game. Also, I need to figure out whether it's supposed to be pronounced REX or Rex. And yeah, Outlander, Capcom's PC ports, at least in the modern day, have been pretty good. World had some issues at first. It was a very, very frequent disconnect fest trying to play online in World at launch. And basically, you just could not remain connected to people unless everyone involved, or at least the host, had done the appropriate port forwarding, which is always annoying. You want an online PC game to just work, like, without needing to go into your router's settings to open up vulnerabilities in your network, specifically so that your game can stay connected. But that aside, the port was, you know, gameplay-wise, it was good. If you were soloing, never an issue. Only came up for multiplayer. You know, it's funny, that launching out from the ground diagonally move that Black Diablos just used in Try was a move that Black Diablos did not have. But in this game, it's a move that standard Diablos does not have. They swapped which flavor of Diablos got that move. Mainly because they took away what Black Diablos had in its place in in 3U. Because in 3U, what Black Diablos had was the ability to burrow in a straight line under a hunter, causing a tremor, and then launch out at them while they were still tremored. Actually, I guess it did still launch diagonally. Never mind. Yeah, the Black Diablo special was burrow under a hunter, causing a tremor, and then launch out at him from the other side, causing damage. And that's what made Black Diablos one of my least favorite monsters to fight in 3U. Back when I was on the Well Done podcast at Capcom Unity, community-run podcast, we invited community guests on to play Monster Hunter games with us and basically interviewed them while playing. So we just got some of the more well-known members of the community and helped people get to know them even better. And during my time as one of the hosts there, I made a habit of, at the start of, at least at the start of the 4U stream, or videos, I made a habit of asking the guest what their least favorite monster to hunt was. Because that way we could get their least favorite out of the way early, and, you know, ideally that would be the worst they would perform for the entire video, and thus we could, you know, get all the negativity out of the way early and then have a good time for the rest of the video. Because, like, hey, we don't got to worry about poor performance now. We've already seen that, you know, this is what you do at your worst, etc., etc. And we're chatting the whole time, so you're a little distracted to begin with. That's how it is. But anyway, the reason I bring this up, I'm pretty sure Black Diablos for 4U was the most chosen least favorite monster, with Rajang being fairly close behind. And hey, Noel, welcome back. And yeah, I'm doing some 4U every Saturday, at least until Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out, because I will 100% allow myself to be distracted by that game. But at least until Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out, every Saturday, Monster Hunter 4U, because we don't have that much time left to do online in this game. And I've gone on record before to state that my least favorite monster in this game is Black Gravios. That remains unchanged. Okay, you know what? I know we've done it on every Dundorma Saturday so far, but dang it, I love Uconlos. Wolfkinson, I forget whether I was on the second or third series of Well Done Podcast, but, it was me, Rock, and Judge Magister. I started off having... I'm pretty sure I started using my, stupid built-in laptop mic, but I got a good mic, at least partway through. And I was the official question asker of that series because I have one. It's this one, the one you're listening to right now. And yeah, I can agree, Tidal Najarala is definitely annoying. Apex especially solo. We're watching this cutscene again because Uconlos. Yeah, Guard. Bolt Reaver Astalos is my least favorite monster to fight in GU. Because the stupid face sword does way too much damage and has way too far of reach. Like, I don't like when a move that a monster can do twice and that reaches half the arena is a one-shot. Okay, Uconlos time. Well, you're on your own now. Good news, it's after me. And it's not a double. Give me that chin. There we go. Yeah, Noel, this is indeed on 3DS, so you are more than welcome to join. Yeah, Wolfkinson, I saw that. It's a thing. Let's not get hurt by this roar. Oh boy. So, I gotta say, I am starting to cringe at my own auto shout out there. This one. Back when this game came out, I was unemployed. I was a college student. But now that I am employed as a translator of text for games, I have had to learn standardization rules and stuff. And, when you have a statement that is broken by an ellipsis, like that I can't move that I have set up as my auto shout-out for getting snowmanned. the latter parts of the statement, you don't capitalize those. So the M should be lowercase, according to standardization rules. And this bothers me. I need to change it. The reason I had capitalized it in the first place is because, you know, at the time, oh yeah, it's, there's a period, there's punctuation involved. Therefore, we must capitalize because we always capitalize after punctuation. Not if it's the same sentence. You don't capitalize after a comma. Good job, Bug. Bug got that tail cut all by himself. Thank you, RNG, for not being mean to me. I take it back, RNG. Nice Virtuoso. Yeah, guard monsters in this game hit hard. That's just how it is. It's part of this game's difficulty. They hit hard. Like, they don't hit you in as BS a way as they would in Freedom Unite, with a few exceptions, named Garuga and Teo. But, like, yeah, when something in endgame G rank in this game hits you, you feel it. I'm sure I need not remind you how hard Rusted Kushala hits. Yeah, Iceborne and 4U are both very good examples of difficult Monster Hunter games. Iceborne did it by making monsters really, really agile. This game did it by just, like, the monsters aren't super agile, but neither are you. And the monsters hit hard. Whereas Iceborne, the monsters just have an easier time hitting you. Uh-oh. Okay. I'm good. I'm good. He's going back for you, though. I was almost in time with the life powder, but I don't think it would have saved you from that move. That move hurts a lot when it hits. Just full stop. I think the best example of what Iceborne does for monsters in Master Rank to make them hard, Furious Rajang. You just look at Furious Rajang in that game, and there you go. You know exactly what Iceborne does to make a monster difficult. And he's coming back. Like, Furious Rajang and Iceborne, that guy has had way too much caffeine. And then on top of that, they also gave him his wall grabs for if you flinch him too close to a wall. So even flinches don't necessarily result in an opening. Yeah, Iceborne Barioth being a wake-up call definitely tracks. There is one thing that I think they got really wrong about Barioth and Iceborne, though. And it's that in previous games, if you break a Barioth's wings, it makes the Barioth slide in place when it does any of its jumping attacks. That is a really helpful thing for it to do. It gives you an opening where previously there were none. And what they did with it in Iceborne makes sense physically, but gameplay-wise makes it actually worse. Because in Iceborne, if you break a Barioth's wings and it does one of its jumping moves, instead of just slipping in place, it freaking rolls over away from the hunter, basically, every time. So instead of having an opening, now you have an anti-opening. The thing carries itself farther away from you. So sure, you don't have an attack coming at you, but you can't take advantage of the opening to do any damage. That is the major issue, in my opinion, with Iceborne Barioth. Is what used to be an opening for damage is now just a brief, safe moment. And if memory serves, that was not a thing with Frostfang Barioth, or at least it was less pronounced. Which is part of why Frostfang Barioth was so much more fun to hunt than standard Barioth. This poor guy. Hey, we got the chest. That was close, and now he's coming back. At least I got my ledge movement out of the way early. Look at this flying wyvern. He is a noisy boy right now. Looks like he is after you. Noel, I can't say off the top of my head that I know what error 0060612 is. I would advise Googling. And he's coming back. And there we go. Excellent work. I love this monster. It's a great fight, and aesthetically it is my favorite monster in this game. Like, this is one of those fights that's a challenge, but it's one of those fair challenges that people love to see in video games. It's very rare that a move hits you and you're like, oh, that was BS. Because he's big and slow, but he hits very hard. Just such a cool-looking monster. I love it. That's why I've got a Nukanlos figure builder up on my shelf. Nice Nukanlos stone. Alright, sorry to hear that you can't join Noel, but there's always next week. And hey, we're happy to have you even in the chat. And depending on how long it takes us, this next quest will probably be the last one. So let's hope it's something fun. Hey, Chameleos is fun. We actually haven't done a 4U Chameleos here. Yeah, Guard, Yumi and Seth have had a lot of interesting happenings over the years in many Monster Hunter games. It's always been a treat. This franchise, it's the games that keep on giving. Though sometimes what they keep on giving is a Teostra charge straight into your shield without giving you any leeway in between. Sure was interesting watching you basically just die to infinite charges that you blocked every one, but didn't have time to even sheath your weapon in between. I'm glad I still remember that this brief pause in Chameleos' ride is a fake out. One thing you can definitely say for Chameleos, it is hands down the cutest Elder Dragon. I found the Chameleos! Always fun when you just get pushed out of the way by a completely invisible monster. Ow. Forgot how much that breath hurt. Yeah, Noelle, it would be nice to see some more Neopterons in Wilds. I'd also like to see some new ones. And hey, if we could get a tall Ka back, that would be cool too. Maybe get a non-end boss version of a tall Ka that just... Imagine a lesser Atal Ka that instead of having the Empress's throne and spinning a big old wheel and Dragonators and all of that, it just uses junk that just exists in the wild. Like, that could be a pretty neat fight. Just a lesser Atal Ka. A younger one that hasn't had time to build up an Empress's throne. Or maybe one with a less mechanical Empress's throne. One that's more natural, because it's potentially in a place with less human activity. that could actually be really cool, and now I super want it. Thanks for making me want a new thing. Yeah, guard that non-mount mount hit knockdown thing lasting longer is not actually exclusive to Chameleos. The crabs also have that distinction. Additionally, for the crabs, it's actually easier to knock them down with a non-mount than it is with a mount. Yeah, wow, I got a hole in one there. But yeah, I should not have tried to get a cheeky early stab in that mount. It ruined the entire mount for me. I am surprised that getting thrown off got a hole in one, though. Still interests me that in this game, unlike in... I forget whether it was even GU already, but definitely Rise. If you break Chameleos' wings / back, it prevents him from going fully invisible in this game. Either GU or Rise or both, that is no longer the case. But once you do... make it so that something on Chameleos is broken and thus it can no longer go fully invisible. Its move where it vanishes, then reappears somewhere else and does an attack. Prior to that moment where you have a thing broken, it actually just teleports. It is 100% teleportation, not movement. But as soon as it becomes unable to go fully invisible, you'll note that the delay is much longer between when it vanishes and when it attacks, because now it has to actually move. Though in Rise, that delay is no longer much longer because it doesn't teleport anymore in that game. Like, at all. But in 4U and GU, it does still teleport while invisible. Rip. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Where it goes invisible, glides somewhere, drops down, then does an attack. While it is able to go fully invisible, it just teleports. It doesn't fly up, glide, and then do a thing. It's very obvious, just based on how much time elapses between when it vanishes and when it attacks. Oh, hey, Wolfkinson, now you just get to take the shortcut. Honestly, 4U's maps needed more shortcuts. We only got the one. Whereas 3U, 2 of its maps had shortcuts from the base camp. And base camp shortcuts are just fun. They're nice. I like them. He wanted a taste of what I was having, clearly. If memory serves, Cammy wasn't in base Monster Hunter 4, but he was added in 4U. With his last appearance having been Freedom Unite, I have to say, what a glow up. So much better of a fight in this game than it was in Freedom Unite. The invisibility is used offensively and in ways that make sense. It's neat, it's cool, it's fun. Whereas Freedom Unite Chameleos is just have fun attacking an invisible thing that is going to be invisible until you enrage it for some reason. Meanwhile, in this game, it does not go invisible unless it is enraged, pretty much. Because when it's enraged, it spits out the mist, which is there just as a, at least partially as a reference to the whole, in Freedom Unite, one of the ways to see an invisible Chameleos was to use a smoke bomb. If it was between you and the smoke, then it was visible where it was. But, like, now it uses the smoke to hide to help it become invisible. And that's part of its rage mechanic. It's really nice. It's a much more interesting fight. The invisibility is handled much better. It's just way better. Wow, Wolfkinson, this Chameleos was clearly trying to hurt you in the wallet. Grabbing max potions of all things. So hey, at least Chameleos can't eat combo books in this game. I'm glad they implemented a rarity ceiling for what Chameleos could eat. All right, that is, in fact, going to have to be it for this stream. But thanks, folks, for coming by to watch and chat and all that. Thanks, Wolfkinson, for hunting. And I will be back on Tuesday for Tanzia Tuesday. See you then, friends.